Hey guys, welcome back to another really cool segment of web tutorials. I'm Tosif Ansari and we'll be designing today the animated gradient background. As you can see that on the screen there's a box in which the text is written, and behind that box the color of the background is coming and changing and coming back again. So this is what we are going to design today. So yep, let's get on with the coding part, guys. So guys, before starting to code, let's first know what stuffs we require for creating the animation. So for that, first of all, we need the index.html, any HTML file, and we need a cascading style sheet file as well, the text file, so that the animation takes place with the help of that. And as you can see, I've already set up the HTML template, the basic template for the HTML. So there's the language is in English, the meta is UTF-8, and the title is animated gradient background, and I have also linked my HTML file with the style.css, the cascading style sheet. So first of all, what we need to do here is we need to give a div and give it an ID of gradient. Okay, that sounds cool now. And after that, what we need is the box part. So under this gradient, which is acting as a container, we need to give a box of let's say the headline. Okay, so we'll again give it a div and we'll give it a class of headline. Okay, and underneath that we need an h1 saying animated gradient background. Okay, so just save it and open it with the live server. So right now it looks like this, very disgusting. So let's style it in the style.css file. Guys, we're using the Montserrat fonts here. You can use whatever font you want. Just go on the Google Fonts website, copy the link given and paste it over here. So first of all, we are going to set the body of the HTML. So what we want is its margin to be set to 0 and also padding to be set to 0. Just save it, and what we see here is this: the padding is gone and the margin also is gone. The padding you see here is of the h1. Okay, so let's move on to the box part. So let's say headline, and what we want is its text alignment to be at the center, and after that what we need is position it to absolute so that it stays wherever we want it, and I want its margin to be auto, and after that I want its height to be 50%, its width to be 50%, and top 0, left also 0, bottom 0, and lastly the right also to be 0. Okay, after that what I want is the h1, right? So let's design the h1 now. So in the h1 section, what we want is a border 3 pixel solid color, and the color, let's say for now, black. Okay, and I want the padding of the text from the boxes. So for that I'll say padding 20 pixel, and I want the font size to be larger. So for font size, let's say 77 pixel, and the font family to be Montserrat, yeah, and sans serif. Secondly, I want the font weight to be 700, and color I'll leave it for now. And letter spacing, I'll give it let's say -5 pixel, because I want the letters to be little closer to each other. And lastly, the user select part, I don't want anyone to select it, so for that I'll say user select none. Okay. So moving on towards our background part, the gradient. So we have given it an ID, so we'll use the hash tag over here, and we'll give it a width of 100%, height also to be 100%. Oops. Yeah, 100%. And I want to set its position to absolute. And lastly, the background image, in fact. Yeah, so it will be linear background, so for that we'll use the linear gradient, and underneath that we will say 45-degree rotation, and the colors are the whitish color, so A1 FFCE. Okay, whitish bluish kind of. Okay, secondly we want is the hashtag 349.4e6. 349.4e6. You can choose whatever color you want, it's up to you. I'm using some of my colors that I have collected from the HTML color code section and the UI gradient section, so I'm using those colors. And third color we want is EC6EAD, so it is a bit of pinkish color. And lastly we want somewhat kind of maroon color, so for that we'll say 89253E. 89253E. Yeah, so that sums up the background section. And underneath that I want the background size to be like, I don't want it to be fully viewable, so let's just see how it has turned out. So as you can see that all the colors are visible right now. I want just this blue color to be visible, so for that I'll say background size to be 800% and 800%. Yeah, so now if you see, this blue color has taken over, and let's change this color to FFF, and also the text colors to be FFF. Now if you see, yeah, and also as you can see that this is not perfectly in the middle of the screen, so for that we'll say top to be -10%. So yep, now you can see this whole box is exactly in the middle of the web page. Okay, so now moving on towards the animation part. So we'll give it an animation, and we'll give it a name of colors, the duration, that is whatever you want. I've set it to 10 seconds, and the animation to be ease and infinite for the time being. So moving on towards the last section now, that is the animation part. So for that we'll use the keyframes attribute here, keyframes, and we'll use colors, the name of the animation. And what we want here is at 0% we want the background position to be, let's say, 0% of y-axis, x-axis, and 50% of y-axis. Okay, and at 50% what we want is its background position to be 100% of x-axis and 50% of y-axis. Okay, and lastly what we need here is at the 100%, what we want is the background position to be set back to 0% of x-axis and 50% of y-axis. Just save it and go back to the web page, and yep, that is it. The animated gradient background color is ready, and the web page is ready. You can use it wherever you want, and I guess that is it in this section, guys. Thank you for watching. Take care and would love to see you in the next video. Thank you.